story that we are looking at in regards to Jesus's adventure here on this earth, and looking at how the disciples have a front row seat of seeing everything that Jesus does. From hearing all the amazing teachings that he gives to seeing the miraculous. Now, today's Bible story is one that really resonates with me. And it's a story of two people that are healed. So today's session is going to look a little bit different because I'm just going to share part of my story. But first off, let's listen to the passage. As Jesus was saying this, the leader of a synagogue came and knelt before him. "My daughter has just died," he said, "but you can bring her back to life again if you just come and lay your hand on her." So Jesus and his disciples got up and went with him. Just then, a woman who had suffered for 12 years with constant bleeding came up behind him. She touched the fringe of his robe, for she thought, "If I can just touch his robe, I will be healed." Jesus turned around, and when he saw her, he said, "Daughter, be encouraged. Your faith has made you well." And the woman was healed at that moment. When Jesus arrived at the official's home, he saw the noisy crowd and heard the funeral music. "Get out," he told them. "The girl isn't dead, she's only asleep." But the crowd laughed at him. After the crowd was put outside, however, Jesus went in and took the girl by the hand, and she stood up. The report of this miracle swept through the entire countryside. Okay, in this story we see of two healings, and I'm going to look at both of them. The first one is of the young girl. Okay, so basically her dad, the synagogue leader, goes to Jesus distraught in saying that his little girl had died. And Jesus goes to the house and basically goes, "She's sound." He actually says she's sleeping, but I can imagine that being the equivalent of "she's sound." And basically he just takes her by the hand and she is instantly healed, just like that. Then we see of the second healing, which is of the woman that has been unwell for so long. And in her mind, she just thinks, "Do you know what? If I can just touch the fringe of Jesus's robe, I know that I will be healed." Now, 12 years is a long time, and she would have tried absolutely everything and anything to be healed. Yet she knows that it is Jesus that is her healer. And soon as she does touch the fringe of his robe, she is healed. Now, I believe that God heals today. Number one, because it says so in the Bible. Two, because I have seen it in others. And three, because I have seen it in my own life. So let me think of kind of like the first healing, okay, which is like the young girl. So I had damage to my back in two different places at two different times. One of them, I fell off the kitchen sideboard after trying to get a packet of crisps. Okay, so I damaged the bottom of my back, and I would love to say that I'd done this when I was young, but no, I was about 21. So you would have thought I'd have known a little bit more, but I didn't. So there was nothing that the doctors could do. They just said it's ligament damage, you're just gonna have to live with it. So I was like, all right, okay. Then the second time that I damaged my back was really stupid. Okay, it really was. So I don't know whether you've heard of parkour or free running, but I had organised a workshop for some young people to do that. And like, these were lads that were basically saying, oh, we're well hard. As soon as you ask them to do something like this, yeah, they don't do it. So I thought, do you know what? If I do it and they see that it's safe, they'll do it. And also, I'll show that I'm well hard. Okay, so there was a crash mat here, think of it like that, and a crash mat here. And the guy said, right, you just need to do a somersault off here onto here, but you just land on your back, okay? Don't think like you need to land on your feet. So I did that, and I felt that I had won the Olympics, okay? I wanted a gold medal. I wanted a round of applause. I got nothing. And then the guy decided to put the crash mat like this. And he said, I want you to do exactly the same thing. Now this was when I had to literally get a boost up as well by a couple of lads. And I was at the top and I was like, I'm actually really scared. So I did a countdown in my head. I was like on 3. I didn't go on 3, I went on 2. So I miscalculated, and instead of going the whole way around, I kind of did a half somersault. So landed directly on the top of my head. So I tried to act well hard, of course, in front of these lads and the leaders. But a day later, I was in A&E, and basically they'd worked out that I damaged the top of my back. Ligament damage again. I'd broken 5 ribs, people, 5 ribs, and I'd bruised my lungs. Who knew that you could do that? But you can, and it hurts a lot, okay? So don't do stuff. Make good choices, okay? And I used to be in agony standing up for long periods of time, and I used to be in agony like sitting down for long periods of time. And there was this opportunity once to go up for prayer for healing. So I thought, do you know what? Yeah, why not? It says in the Bible, God heals, I've seen it. Let's see if God heals for me. So then when people were praying for me, I felt like cool water was trickling down my back and was washing away the pain. And it felt really bizarre, okay? But what God does is really cool and bizarre as well. And then afterwards, I was able to do loads of things that I'd never been able to do for like years. Like from that prayer, I was instantly healed, just like that young girl. And I haven't had really any problems with my back since. But then I can definitely understand the woman. Some of you may know or don't know that when I was 17, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. And it was quite a big thing to be told at that age, because I knew that it was going to change a lot of things in my life. And I was distraught, and I was like worried and didn't know what was going to happen. And I knew that lots of people were praying for me to be healed. And I'm not. Okay, so like 16 years later, you've worked out my age now. 16 years later, I can sit here and go, do you know what? My epilepsy's got worse. My epilepsy has got worse. But this is the cool thing. There are many a times that, in all honesty, I should have been dead. I'm just going to say it as it is, okay? But God has protected me in those moments. Like, I have had incredible experiences of angels, okay? But that's a whole nother conversation to have. I've had incredible conversations with medical professionals that have said to me, you should not be able to do what you do. How? And I've gone, it's God. That's the reason why I can do all these things. Like, I rely on God's strength. I rely on just God and being able to do everyday stuff, to be able to do what I do. And I've had incredible opportunities to talk to people about Jesus. Now, I may not be physically healed from epilepsy, but I have such peace in all of it. I believe that God has given me this peace, and that I am able to use what isn't great into something amazing. I truly believe that God heals, and it doesn't mean that I don't pray for healing. Okay, I really do. I pray for it constantly, and it says that in the Bible that we should pray with persistence, that we should keep coming to God with all these things. And I do, and I know other people do that for me too. But in all of this, I know that God gives me strength. God gives me peace. I know that God is with me all the time, that He is my protector as well. And that I have been able to use this thing that's not great into something that is amazing. So I want you to know that prayer for healing can instantly happen. But there are other times that we can't understand why people aren't instantly healed. We don't understand it. But we can use it to glorify God's name, to point directly to Him at all times. So I want you to think of someone that's not well. That could be someone in your family, that could be a friend, it could be for yourself. And it doesn't necessarily mean like a physical illness. It could be like struggling with anxiety, struggling with depression, struggling with mental health issues. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to pray for those people. And we're going to believe that God heals. Now, it might not be instantly, but we're going to be persistent in our prayers, because God is a God that heals. And He does it in His way, ways in which we don't understand. But I'm also going to pray for peace, because I know that as someone that hasn't been physically healed, that it's been really hard sometimes for me to like get my head around that. But I have a peace that transcends all understanding. Okay, so have a think about those people. I've definitely got someone in my head. Okay. God, I thank you that you are a God that heals. And God, we just say, please heal them. In your precious and mighty name, we ask for your healing. And we ask for your peace that transcends all understanding. Amen.